Our theme for our summer work and travel forum is My Work and Travel Experience, reviewing best practices for student success. And as is our custom, we begin by putting first things first. We now invite Mrs. Angela Isaacs Brown, our acting assistant registrar, to open for us in prayer.
Good afternoon. Let us stand, please. Thank you. Mighty, merciful, and everlasting Father, great Jehovah God, we give you thanks this afternoon. We thank you, Lord, for the opportunity of being here. We thank you, Lord, for the opportunity for this gathering to learn more about the work and travel program. Father God, you said, except the Lord build a house, mighty God, they that build it labor in vain. And except the Lord keepeth the city, the watchman waketh in vain. So, Lord, we acknowledge that there's nothing we can do without you. So we invite your holy presence in the midst of us today, that whatever is said and done will be done to your honor and to your glory. Now glorify yourself, Lord, as we invite you in this session and tell you thanks in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Isaacs Brown. Let me begin by acknowledging our president, Dr. Kevin Brown, our deputy registrar, Dr. Barry Thompson, I'm sorry. I'm prophesying. I'm prophesying. We have, of course, our acting assistant registrar, Mrs. Angela Isaacs Brown, which you just met. From the Embassy of the United States, we acknowledge Consul Mr. David Johnson, who is the Non-Immigration Visa Unit Chief, Ms. Nakisha Jones, Vice Consul, Mr. Omar Cunningham, and Ms. Tamara Douglas. From the Ministry of Labor, we have Mr. Claude Ferron. Mr. Claude Ferron, is he here yet? Okay, not here yet. And we also acknowledge our 10 representatives from our agencies registered with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, and also with Career and Placement. So we have International Recruiting Staffing Solutions, raise your hand, Mayfors, STEEP, SWAT, Summer Choice, Work Abroad, First Class, McLean's, and Explore Your World. And finally, we acknowledge your students, those who have braved the rain to make it here, and those who are joining us online. And so we look forward to a very informative session, which is geared to ensure that at the end of the day, you all make informed decisions. I now invite Dr. Kevin Brown to bring the official welcome for this forum.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Good afternoon, UTech. It's good to be here. The weather reminds me a bit of where I'm coming from. Most of you know I resided in the United Kingdom for over 2 decades, and it's always like this. So this is familiar, very familiar weather indeed. Let me recognize the Student Union representative. I can't see the president, but I think there are other reps here. Mr. Barry Thomas, the Deputy Registrar. Mr. David Johnson, Consul and Non-Immigration Visa Chief, Embassy of the United States. Other officers from the United States Embassy. Representatives from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, representatives from work and travel companies, our students here and those joining online. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to everyone. If it's your first time to UTech, special welcome to our campus. I apologize for the weather. If it was much sunnier, maybe we would take you on tour to see our facilities and grounds. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you who have taken the time to participate in this important work and travel forum today. Let me, at the outset, thank the team in the Career and Placement Unit for organizing with other partners to arrange this series of annual work and travel forums for the benefit of our students. The Work and Travel Program is very important to our university. The Career and Placement Unit has told me that each year between 2,500 to 3,000 of our students travel on this program. So the benefits over the years has been tremendous, and our students continue to look forward to this opportunity to not only gain valuable international work and cultural experience, but to also earn well-needed funds to return to Jamaica to continue their tertiary education at the university. Without this opportunity, many students would not be able to pay their tuition fees and related expenses to complete their studies. I note that this annual Work and Travel Forum has consistently provided a very informative session for our students to be fully acquainted with the best practices on how to access the program and how to ensure that it is a rewarding and safe experience. We are grateful to the United States Embassy for its continuing support and collaboration with the university in providing our eligible students with the required visa permit and for sharing information in this type of forum before our students embark on this cultural exchange opportunity. To the students here and those online, I urge you to listen keenly, to ask the right questions, and to learn as much as you can from today's presentations. I also use this opportunity to encourage our students to, even before you may be given the awesome opportunity to participate in the work and travel experience, do remember to be good UTech Jamaica ambassadors, and by extension, good ambassadors for your country. Do avoid the pitfalls and mistakes which I know our presenters from the partnering organizations will share with you today. Mr. Johnson, I know that Jamaica is among the largest participants in the Work and Travel Cultural Exchange Program in the United States, and you and I were just discussing that before the proceedings began. And so we welcome this ongoing opportunity provided by the embassy and look forward to an enduring partnership with you to ensure that the program continues to meet its objectives of fostering cultural exchange and strengthening of friendship and cooperation between our two countries. So again, I extend a warm welcome to you all, and I hope you enjoy today's proceedings. I know that many of you are looking forward to going away in the summer. The only thing I'd like to end by saying is that do remember that our classes start in August. And I know some of you like to extend your stay just a bit by a few weeks, but do remember that classes start in August. So if you can, I'd encourage you to come back on time for your studies, okay? But thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brown, Dr. Kevin Brown, President of the University of Technology. I now invite Mr. Barry Thomas, soon to be Dr. Barry Thomas, to bring greeting on behalf of the Registrar.
Dr. Kevin Brown, President of the University of Technology, Jamaica. Mr. David Johnson, Council and Non-Immigrant Visa Chief, United States of America, Embassy. Mr. Claude Ferran, Investigator, Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Mrs. Angela Isaacs Brown, Acting Assistant Registrar, Student Services. Mr. Rick Darby, who is probably online, President of the Students' Union. Students, other members of the Student Union, members, other partners that are with us today. I am delighted to bring greetings at the Career and Placement Unit's Work and Travel Forum on behalf of Ms. Marianne Brown, the Vice President and Registrar. I use this opportunity to commend Mrs. Charmaine Lewis, Career and Placement Officer, and her team for organizing this forum, an important opportunity provided to our students, services support. This Work and Travel Forum is the third to be held in recent years. However, the Student Work and Travel Program has been in existence for many years and has been an emphasis here at the University of Technology, Jamaica since 2005. The University of Technology, Jamaica endorses the Student Work and Travel Program and recognizes the benefits that students derive from being a part of such a program. The program is a special student support service offered through our Career and Placement Unit, as mentioned, and has responsibility for facilitating students' work and travel program. This work and travel program, which our students engage in from year to year, is an important opportunity for them to benefit financially and, of course, help to support themselves as they go through the challenges of university life. The university, in an effort to protect its students when they seek to engage with overseas employment agencies, deemed it necessary to create a framework within which these agencies should operate. Consequently, the importance of this program has been concretized in a university policy called the Student Work and Travel Policy that guides the goals, expectations, and stakeholders' responsibilities as it relates to the work and travel program. Through the Student Work and Travel Program, students receive a unique opportunity to experience life in a foreign country. As more than just tourists, students are able to learn other cultures, share their own culture, sorry about that. Students are able to learn other cultures, share their own traditions, and interact with international students. Therefore, Student Work and Travel Program provides university and college students with the opportunity of experiencing the customs, cultures, and daily life of another country. Therefore, the focus of the program is to enhance the understanding of diverse cultures and ways of life through daily interaction and contact with citizens and people from across the globe, inside and out of the business environments. This has greatly increased the students' networking capabilities, as well as create the bond of lifelong friendships. I wish to laud the United States of America Embassy, a critical partner of the university, for enabling our students to access this excellent opportunity. The University of Technology Jamaica is pleased to collaborate with its stakeholders, in particular, the United States Embassy, in seeking to give guidance and assistance to the Work and Travel Program, in particular, the arrangements which the U.S. Embassy facilitates. We are appreciative of the interest the U.S. Embassy has taken in following through with established processes to enable our students these memorable, life-changing experiences. And I note that it is most of the students who engage in the work and study program are actually UTech students. Isn't that correct? A very large number. We are aware of feedback or students who have had prior experiences. Accordingly, we are glad the United States Embassy representative is here to help us answer some of the questions students may have. Thank you, U.S. Embassy, for your partnership with the University of Technology, Jamaica, with regard to this vital program. We know that our students are appreciative of the information being presented today. The discussions today will focus on the theme, My Work and Travel Experiences, reviewing best practices for student success. This forum promises to be an interesting one and will highlight the procedures, benefits, and issues related to the work and travel program, including the do's and the do-nots. Notably, the program facilitates travel and temporary work for students for a period of up to 4 months during the summer vacation period annually. Congratulations to the Career and Placement Unit and your team on the hosting of this year's forum. And again, a warm UTech Jamaica greeting and best wishes on a successful forum. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Barry Thomas, Deputy Registrar, University of Technology. I now invite the team from the embassy to take a seat around the table. And now Mr. Claude Ferron is an investigator in the Employment Agencies Unit from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. And we now invite you, Mr. Ferron, to come and address the audience. While Mr. Ferron is coming, may I have a show of hands of those who have traveled on the Work and Travel program before? Okay, so no one person. Okay, so just a few persons. So we have some newbies here, Mr. Ferron.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure I'm not hearing some persons. Good afternoon? Yeah, more like it. Oh, so basically, yes, I'm Claude Ferron from the Employment Agencies Unit of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. And I am here basically to give you a synopsis as to who we are, what we do. So basically, the Employment Agencies Unit is that arm of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, and it is set up to monitor the activities of all private employment agencies, thus to ensure that they are licensed and also to operate within the ambit of the law that governs employment agencies. And we speak of the Employment Agencies Regulation Act of 1957. Among our objectives, we want to foster the excuse me. Yes, so basically we want to encourage the what we call the what's my word? I'm sorry. All right, so excuse me. Basically, yeah. All right, so normally this would have been a presentation, but when I was told, I would just have to come without it because it wasn't at hand at the time. Yes, so basically, we want to encourage job seekers, the safety and all of that. We find that in today's society, there is a lot of what we call scamming. And that's what we want to highlight, really, because the time is short. and you are all vulnerable of the scamming. We have a lot of employment agencies out there now. They are not registered. They have never sought to be registered, but yet they are operating employment agencies. All right, and we just want to point out a few little things to you that you can look out for. As it relates to employment agencies, they must have a physical space from which they operate. You might have noticed a lot of fly-by-night, so to speak, employment agencies come about. And of course, their main thing is to get some monies from the general public. So they will advertise, just like our decent, regular employment agencies. And if you don't know them, you will believe that they are okay to operate. Some of them might even steal a little aspect of the names of the regular employment agencies. And as I said, if you don't know, you might find yourself in problems. So one of the things that we have in place to help you, and also for you to help us, is that we have a listing of all the private employment agencies, and they are placed on our website, the ministry's website. My colleague is now issuing some documents, and the Ministry of Labor's website can be accessed on it. So what we are asking is that you consult the listing in order to abreast yourself of the now good-to-go employment agencies. All right? Just the other day, even though this is not a J1 thing, a young lady would have visited our office. And she came because she paid some money, it's like $120,000, to a particular person who that person claimed was offering some jobs in Florida. And she wanted to place her brother on this program. And so she paid the money. And it's only after paying the money and realized that this thing wasn't all that real, she came to visit us. But what was astonishing, according to her, was that when she was there at that location to pay over that $120,000, there were another 29 persons waiting to pay over that similar amount. So if we do the maths, it's well over 3 million Jamaican dollars. All right? And this is how these scammers operate. They are very smart, and they just do things like they're operating the same. So basically what we are asking, before you act, consult the Ministry of Labor. All right? We are there to help you, and we want you to help us. If we can save one person, we are happy to do so. As I look in the crowd, I can see some of our prominent employment agency operators. And I would just take this opportunity for them to just show their hands. Mr. Foster, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Thomas, Miss New Name. And I can tell you, these persons are upstanding persons. All right? And we have others. So we want you all help us to help you and to help them. This is my few words, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evenings.
Thank you, Mr. Claude Ferron, investigator at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. So we take the safety and security of our students very seriously at the University of Technology. And so every year, we actually engage in a robust appraisal system with the agencies that want to work with the University of Technology. And so we had that earlier. They're all here, and they will remember that we didn't spare any questions. You know, we take whatever our students say very seriously, and we take them to task on it. And so, thank you, Mr. Ferron. We thank you for that, but we also agree that we need to be very intentional about ensuring that our students are protected and are safe. At this point, I would like to invite Mr. David Johnson, who will now present on the J1 Visas Summer Program. Please make him feel welcome.
Thank you very much. If it's all right, I'll remain seated with my colleagues, and you'll advance the slides. So we'll be sort of passing back and forth. But I want to thank you so much for your hospitality, Ms. Lewis, Dr. Brown, for your kind and welcoming words as well. To the whole team here for having us. It's my first time at UTech, although I've seen many students come through the embassy, mostly successfully, I think. And it's really encouraging to see so many young faces here interested in the cultural exchange programs that we offer at the embassy. The J1 exchange programs are at the heart of what draws me to consular work and what draws me to life as a diplomat. I didn't get overseas myself until long after college, and that was truly an eye-opening experience for me. I didn't begin working overseas until long after college. And so to have an opportunity like that early in your life, in these formative college years, is invaluable, I think, in the experience that you bring back to Jamaica, what you bring from Jamaica to the U.S. and the employers that you serve and the American citizens that you serve there is very special to us, but also what you bring back from the U.S. to here and to your eventual careers and your lives and your families here is very special as well. Some have spoken of the financial benefit, obviously, of working overseas during your college years and saving up money during these summers to pay your tuition, pay your living expenses, and that certainly can't be understated, especially given the thousands of Jamaicans who travel to the U.S. every year for this. I think last year we issued around 9,000 visas for summer work travel. In high years, it's closer to 12,000. I think that we can get there during my time here in Jamaica. And the amount of economic impact that has on Jamaica is not negligible, of course. But the bigger impact, I think, is the cultural exchange. And that's what really draws me, like I say, to consular work and to diplomatic work, is the value of that exchange of people's cultures. I am so grateful to be here in Jamaica, to be back in Jamaica, actually. I returned recently in June. I began this job, but I previously served here for 2 years and loved it so much I came back, so thank you for having me. But I hope that you too, those of you who decide to participate in this program, those of you who do decide to work overseas during your college summers, really make the most of that opportunity. I appreciate Mr. Farron's words of caution against scammers, against those who would take advantage or misuse this opportunity, or would try to take advantage of those who are trying to do their best. Make the most of this opportunity, and in your time overseas, really savor that cultural exchange. Make the money, obviously, bring that home too, but bring back the lessons that you learn, the employment experience, the people that you meet. That's where the real value in this program is. And so, again, thank you for the hospitality here and for allowing us to present. And we'll go ahead and advance to our next slides here.
Good morning, everyone, or afternoon. Thank you for being here. So today we will discuss what summer work travel is. We will also discuss who is eligible to participate in the program, which kind of jobs are permissible under the program, how long you can work in the U.S. during your summer break, how to apply for the program, including how to prepare for the dreaded interview. And our colleagues in fraud prevention will discuss, will provide resources and information on how you can maintain your safety while working in the U.S. Next slide. So David already explained a little bit about the summer work travel program. So this is a program that enables college students to spend their summer breaks working in the U.S. as well as experiencing U.S. culture and customs. That is the main goal of the program, not just to make money, but so that you can really engage in a meaningful exchange with Americans. Okay, next slide, please. So who is eligible to participate in this program? So this program is for full-time students pursuing a post-secondary academic program at an educational institution who plan to continue their study. So if it's your final year, this doesn't mean that you're disqualified from participating in the program as long as you apply before the completion of your final year. So you have to apply for the visa and be issued the visa. Then you're eligible to participate. And, sorry, I thought you were gonna add something. And so relatedly, students must maintain a full course load. So our definition of a full course load is 4 courses or 12 credit hours. There's no age limit for this program. We understand that there are non-traditional students, so we encourage that, we promote that. That's great, you're eligible. And there's no limit on the number of times you can participate in the program. So you can participate as an undergraduate student, as a master's student, that is also permissible. English proficiency is a must, which is not a problem for you all. And yes, so I already highlighted that if you're a final year student, you can participate as long as you initiate and complete the process before you graduate. Next slide.
So the agencies will speak for themselves, and I don't need to sell this program to you any more than they will. I think they're the ones who can really speak to the experiences of those who have done it before. We see applicants and participants in this program at a very limited stage in the process, right? When you come in for the visa interview that Nikisha spoke to. I want to demystify that process a little bit for you, and we'll speak more about that. But when we look at this whole progression here that you see here, our part of it is very limited. You get to the Form DS 2019. This is something that your agency, your sponsor, is going to help you with all the paperwork for. Every one of you will or should know to come to your interview with that form. That's sort of the key to get you in the door, right? You're going to need that at the interview. You're going to need that at the airport. That's what makes you a summer work travel student. Our sign and seal on that paper. You come for the interview, and we'll discuss that a little bit more later. But I won't belabor the point here. The agencies will sell the experience to you. We'll speak to you a little bit more about the visa interview. We can go to the next slide then. So you can find tons of information, a wealth of information before you even reach an agency or a recruiter about these opportunities. If you go to j1visa.state.gov, that's sort of the door that opens to all J1 programs, not just summer work travel, but there's a wide variety of exchange programs for Fulbright scholars, au pairs, camp counselors, a wide range. Summer work travel is obviously the big one we're talking about here today, and it's the one that sends 9,000 to 12,000 Jamaicans to the U.S. every year. As Dr. Brown alluded to, Jamaica is the largest sender, the largest provider of summer work travel travelers to the U.S. every year. So let's keep that up. Let's keep those numbers going up. You guys are doing great. It's a well-regarded program here and in the U.S. But if you go to that website, it's going to give you more information than I could possibly tell you today. But j1visa.state.gov. We'll make sure that Ms. Lewis has that to pass along to all the attendees here today. And then we'll move on from there. Okay, so your agency, again, they can sell their services to you better than I can, but they're the ones who are going to work with you to make all the arrangements leading up to your visa interview and beyond that too. It's incumbent upon them to check in with you regularly to make sure that you're aware of your rights as a worker. We also want to make sure that you're aware of your rights as a worker too, and it's something that we emphasize, and that I think my colleague from the fraud prevention unit will emphasize too, that when you're in the U.S. on an employment-related visa, you have the rights of U.S. workers, including the right to a fair wage, the right to breaks, the right to paid overtime, the right to just be treated with dignity and respect. the right to hold onto your passport at all times. No one should have your passport but you. I can't emphasize that enough. So you take care of your documents, take care of yourselves, and know that supports are in place for you as they would be for any worker in the U.S.
So what kinds of jobs can you do? So summer work travel jobs are typically seasonal and focus on interaction with Americans because this is a cultural exchange. So you can be placed anywhere in the U.S. from Alaska to Alabama. I've seen students going to those places, Massachusetts, Texas, anywhere in the U.S. And students typically work at amusement parks, national parks, hotels, resorts. We see a lot of lifeguards. Next slide, sorry. And so while you may be placed anywhere in the United States, you can't do just any kind of work. So jobs that are not permitted under this program include fish packing plants, night shifts, so working from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., jobs where you don't interact with Americans, traveling fairs, adult industry work, casinos, jobs at beauty salons, massage, piercing and tattoo parlors, jobs driving cars, pedicabs, guiding boats, no jobs working in private homes, no jobs that require you to sell things in order to maintain your lifestyle in the U.S. So those are not permissible. And if you find yourself doing that kind of work, please report that. All right, next slide, please. So how long can you stay in the U.S.? So your program start and end dates are on, or will be on your DS 2019, 2019. The program cannot exceed 4 months, and you do have a grace period of 30 days from the end date. So that gives you time to pack up and to travel. However, if your classes start before your 30-day grace period ends, you have to abide by that class start date. You need to return to Jamaica before the start of classes. Because if you return after, that could be a problem when you're trying to renew. So that is something that we look at when returning applicants come to us. We want to know, when did you return? If you return 2 months after the start of classes, then that calls into question your credibility as a student. So make sure you return before the start of classes. All right? Next slide.
I also want to emphasize that when you're in the U.S. for the job that you're assigned to, that's the only job that you're working in the U.S. You're going there with one job in mind, and any secondary job would be a violation of the visa status. So keep that in mind. That, and like Nikisha said, returning on time. Now that I know that UTEX classes start in August, you can bet that every September? Okay, September. Well, we're going to find out exactly when those classes start. I know not every university is the same. Very good. Thank you for that point. All right. He'll speak more to that, or someone will speak more to that, but there can be an accommodation for a second vetted job. Make sure we speak to that in the visa interview before you take a second job without us knowing about it, because, again, we want to know, we want everyone to be in compliance with their visa class, right? We're in the interest of facilitating legitimate travel, making sure that you guys play by the rules, and when you do, that bodes well for you in future visa applications or for future cultural exchanges. That's what we just want everyone to play by the rules and to be able to continue this kind of exchange. So to the visa process, like I said, you need a Form DS 2019 before you set foot in the door. You'll get that form and pay what's called a SEVIS fee. This is the student exchange registration fee. That's required for everybody. And then there's also the visa fee. You complete the online visa application, the Form DS 160, pay your visa fee, and at that point, that's when you're scheduling your visa interview. Now, you might know it's very hard to get a B1, B2 visa interview because those are booked out for months in advance. We're setting aside special time for these J1 interviews, so there will be ample scheduling availability for the J1 summer work travel from February through May. This is one of our sole focuses. There are entire days where we're doing only this kind of interview, and we're going to keep opening that up until we meet the full demand of anyone who wants to apply for this kind of visa. It's my mission to make sure that everyone is going to get an appointment and get a chance to be there on time. All right. Thank you. Did not expect a rousing applause. All right. Appreciate that. When you come for your visa interview, You'll have a scheduled appointment time. You come to our front door. If you've seen how busy we are, if you've ever driven by Hope Road early in the morning, long lines almost every day. Hopefully there are some days in that line is just people like you. We have lots of students coming in. You'll come in through our security. Phones aren't allowed. Make sure you come only with what you need, including passport, of course, DS 2019, anything that supports your application. You come through security. You come to intake. They'll take your fingerprints. After they've taken your fingerprints and your basic biodata information, your photo and all that, you'll see the officer. The interviews can be very brief. They may not be. Please know that when you get additional questions, additional scrutiny, this is not based on an officer's concern necessarily that you're presenting false information or that anything is fraudulent about your application. We do this for your protection as well as for our protection. We want to make sure that you're being treated well and that the agents and your sponsors are doing things by the book. And so any additional line of questioning that might seem strange to you, it's usually in the service of making sure that everyone is playing by the rules throughout the whole process, not just you, but everyone who's serving you and facilitating your travel to the U.S. too. Again, this interview can take anywhere from 90 seconds to 4 or 5 minutes. It's going to be pretty brief. After you've waited in line for months to get there, and then half an hour or so waiting in line to get to see the officer, you're going to see the officer for a very short time. That decision will be made very quickly. Make sure that you present your case for why you're a qualified applicant. Really, that's just a matter of, for this program, we're assessing that you're a legitimate student, a bona fide student who is committed to their studies and is using this program for this summer-long cultural exchange. That's the long and short of it. We're gonna, if you have relatives in the U.S., we'll probably ask about that. If you've been to the U.S. before, we'll probably ask about that. If you've had a prior visa refusal, we'll probably ask about that. We have computer systems. We know where you've been. We know if you applied for a visa before. Be honest. Be forthcoming. We want this to work for you. We want this to work for the U.S. Every visa that we issue is in the U.S.'s interest. Every visa that we refuse is also in the U.S.'s interest. The reason that non-immigrant visas exist is to serve the U.S. economy, but also to serve this cultural exchange. So for qualified applicants, come and be honest, and it'll be a quick process, and we'll get you on your way. All right. One question that comes up often is that, what if someone has filed for me? Will that reflect negatively on my application? This happens all the time, and there's no one thing that makes an application a success or a failure, right? There's people have credible dual intent to someday immigrate to the United States while also having the current intent to go and work on this program. If we are convinced that you are in college and you are committed to finishing your college career and doing this program in between, the fact that someone has filed for you to immigrate 7 years down the road is not going to reflect negatively on you. A consular officer for a non-immigrant visa just needs to be convinced that your intent right now is for a temporary visit, is to comply with the visa class that you're applying to, which in this case means that you're applying to work in the U.S. on this program for 3 months and then come back to school. So immigrant filing will not negatively impact you unless it's not clear that you're going to come back from this trip. Does that make sense? All right. I think I covered this already. Bring your passport, bring your forms, pay your fees, and don't book a plane ticket until you've got your visa in your hand. You can't stress that enough. People come to us, say, I've got a ticket booked for tomorrow, I need my visa. That's not our problem, right? We want to facilitate your travel, but I'm telling you right now, do not book your plane ticket until the visa is in your passport, okay? All right, and like I say, be prepared to demonstrate your qualifications for a non-immigrant visa, that you intend to stay for a temporary period of time, and that you're going to comply with the J1 visa class, which for this purpose is just to work in that one job and to return for school. Do be prepared to discuss your academic program. To show us that you're a qualified student, just talk about your studies. Talk about the classes that you've been in last semester, the classes that you're going to be in next semester, what you want to do when you finish. And then just be honest and forthcoming about your intentions.
I also wanted to add that one other factor that we do consider is your grades. So if you have good grades, that demonstrates that you're a credible student. But if you had a bad semester, we understand life happens. You may not, perhaps you had a 0.5 GPA one semester. That doesn't automatically disqualify you. As long as you can credibly explain, why you didn't do so well one semester, or, maybe the classes were too difficult. Those are things that we take into consideration as well.
Actually, I think that's all I had. What's next? Yeah. Was it next? Yeah. All right. So that's all for my piece. I'm going to hand off to my colleague, Tamara Douglas from the Fraud Prevention Unit. Don't be intimidated by the name Fraud Prevention Unit. We're not accusing you of fraud outright. She's here to help. So.
I noticed that you indicated that they must submit the proof of full-time student status. Must this be in the form of a transcript, or can it be in the form of a progress report from the university? What is the actual documentation?
Good question. And generally, we're looking for a transcript. For upcoming classes, registration for the next semester, but transcripts will usually give us a good indication of someone's credibility as a student. That's what most students come with.
We do also produce what we call a progress report, right? It is something that is printed from the system. It does not officially come through but it comes through the record office, but it is not a transcript. It is a document that we stamp with our stamp as well, which we have sent down to the embassy. We haven't found that we have had challenges with that, but I just wanted to make certain that.
All right, that's good. Yeah. Yes. I'm new here too. When she tells me it's good, I know it's good. All right. Thank you.
Okay. As my colleague has said, I'm from the Fraud Prevention Unit, and do not let the word fraud be a deterrent to your happy times next year in traveling. But we just wanted to highlight a few things that you should be aware of. I am glad Mr. Ferron had highlighted the two aspects: the physical space, the agencies having a physical space. I do know that, yes, we are young. Everyone is under, I won't say the age, and we talk to our phone more than how we talk to human beings. So we was just say, find me agency, find me this. And then these glossy websites, Instagram, the Facebook, whatever social media platform comes up, and you click on it, and that's where the trouble begins. I have had spoken to applicants, various visa applicants, and they have never stepped foot in a physical space, and they have paid over thousands and thousands of dollars. And they have never physically, they have spoken to persons on phone, they have WhatsApp, and they will show you all the records, but they have never physically. And I want to emphasize that. Please go to a physical space, utilize the list that is published on the Ministry of Labor website. The scamming is real. It is very much real. The other aspect we would like to emphasize as it relates to the embassy, our website domain, it ends with .gov, nothing else. We have good imitators out there, okay? And they come writing, crying to say they have paid many, huge sum of money for a visa application form that, it doesn't equate. And no one stops to say they're just paying, they continue paying, they're telling them, they're feeding them along the line. So I must emphasize our website ends with .gov. To say that now, there is a pamphlet that each of you will get at the interview. And I can say our greeters, the persons that you see at the outside who log you in when you come in to say, yes, you have an appointment this morning, they tell us that many of them are left in our courtyard. Now, even although, as I said, everyone becomes tech savvy and thinks that internet, the phones, everything replaces paper, by law, we are required to give you the Wilberforce Act. In that act has several pertinent information that I would encourage persons to take the time to read. And if you don't get opportunity to read it, pack it in the suitcase. It not take up space. Not even 1 pound it ever take up extra. Just put it in there because it safeguards you that if you have any question, rather than asking someone else who probably is inexperienced, but want to make you feel good when you're in that problem, the pamphlet has the information, it has numbers, it has websites. And if you do not call, if you do not provide documentation. We cannot know what is happening out there when you are in the USA, the dangers that you face, all right? So that covers knows your rights. The other thing that I would encourage when you meet upon the agencies that are trying to say, okay, this is a program, there are questions for you to ask. And the pamphlet clearly, yes, the pamphlet, this is the pamphlet itself, and this is the rights that it tells you that you have. You know, to be paid fairly, no harassment, to work in a healthy and safe workplace. So, as I said, emphasize, take your time, if not now, but sometime, even on the flight. Read it and save the number or the website. That is the website there. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, sorry, persons were taken. We are good? All good? We can move on? I still see some more phones going up. That's good. No, that's good. At least they have that, yes. Okay, yes. So this is one of the photos or images that we hope that none of our Jamaican nationals will ever experience. This, as you look at it, you know that your alarm bell should ring off to say something is not right. So under no circumstances, 8 of you should be sharing, sleeping on floor, anything like that. Call the number, same time. Call your family here and let them write to us here at the embassy. We will answer and tell you what is right or wrong. All right, questions that you should ask the agents. Please ask the questions because we are going to ask the questions during the interview to find out how much you are aware of where you're going, what you're going to be doing. All right, so have questions about your housing, who is responsible for that cost? Because yes, you hear that you're earning 500 US, and you multiply that already, and you multiply it by the months you're going to be there. But then you did not know all this information, and then it becomes antagonistic between yourself and the employer, and we don't want that. And then you go out and you say you have to get a second work, and without even getting, as has said, it is possible, but you have to go through the right channels. But you don't want to be doing all of that when you did not get the facts beforehand. So know the rules. My colleagues already emphasized how long you're supposed to be, the end and start date, and it does play a part if you're going to your first timers, because we asked for a raise of hand and we showed it was less than 2% who said they have been on the program before. So if you are interested in going on the program for the next year, follow the guidelines, be here on time for class. And these are just generally information, because I can tell you it's not only the scamming that is going on, but we have students who have fallen under the influence of persons who are trying to send back the scamming money, okay? Yes, we have young persons, so we are encouraging you never to open a bank account. Do not let anyone say, oh, just carry down some money for me, now just carry down and you get a fee. And you start multiplying again. When you convert it, how much money you're going to earn. Please, I emphasize this strongly, okay? Remember drinking and driving, all of that you're not supposed to. Same thing here in Jamaica. What you're not supposed to do, you're not supposed to be doing there. Oh, yes, the shoplifting. That's another thing again. I've seen many cases of it presenting itself to visa applicants. And they come before you and they deny it. So we are saying to you, we don't want it even to go to the stage where you're denying it. Just don't be a part of it. Okay? All right. your passport must be in your possession at all times. No one is supposed to be holding back. If that type of conversation commences, the alarm bell should go off, take a pause, and reach out to that number or to the embassy. Just try to have us as one of your favorites in your websites, all right? I know that UTech students will not fall under this category, falsifying documents, right? All right. So the criteria for the J1 visa, it's very simple. All you have to be is a student. Present yourself, talk to the officer, and that's the end of the story. If this opportunity, and I must say to you, if this opportunity does not pay out the way you want it, think of your future, because we take note of those who have presented fraudulent documents, and for future you want to travel. You have the dream job, and you're going to Europe, and you have to pass through the United States. It's a must. And hey, what comes up? Oh, you presented a fraudulent document. That stays with you forever, okay? So don't think this is the end of it. Just come as a student. Come as you are. Present yourself as you are. We spoke about the scamming. As I said, just be aware. Don't take everything that you see on social media as the gospel. Fine, ask questions. Always ask the questions. Again, as I said earlier on, our website ends with .gov. If you do not see the .gov, because it mimics, it has everything going on. It has our logo, everything going on, the language, but you look at the domain itself. The DS-160 form. Applicants, maybe for time constraints or lack of familiarity with completing the form, may say, okay, I'm going to utilize an agent in completing the form. Nothing is wrong, but you must be beside the agent. There are questions at the end of the form that asks you, have you ever this? Have you ever that? And you cannot say that I was not there and it was the agent who did it. Because at the end, it asks, did you receive assistance? And you said, no, you did it on your own. I cannot emphasize enough. Try to be there. The information on the form is your information, not the agent information. At times we have cases where, for example, the photo is not correct. And we need to reach out to you, and when we call, we are getting a third party. And we have to wait until that third party gets through to you. No, it's your telephone number. It's your email, because we have, as I said before, times when we need to reach out to you. So know your rights. Have fun. Do the cultural exchange. I mean, everyone wants to know a Jamaican. I can tell you that. Yes, they want to know. They want to know if you met the bolt. They want to know about the music. They want you to speak. They want you to cook. Everybody wants you to jerk. That's the first thing that, yes, can you do the jerk and so forth. So just go there, enjoy yourself. But before you enjoy yourself and get there, present yourself as you are. And then we'll take questions.
Go ahead, please. Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay. Sure. While she's walking there, I will add that there are a couple of links from the .gov website that may take you to a third-party website, and those are acceptable. For instance, the website you actually go to schedule your appointment and pay your visa fee, that ends with a .com. It's ais.us-visa.com. So that's right. So, you would only get there by going to the embassy's website first. So, any .com that you come across just through Google, that's not where you want to start. Start from the embassy's website and then follow the links there to the actual scheduling. Any .coms that come from our website are acceptable. Go ahead, please.
Hi, afternoon. I just want you guys to provide some clarity with regards to the DS dates and what you guys consider overstaying in the United States. So we know students are allowed to participate or to travel rather for the 30 days depending on when their school resumes. But we've seen in the past where students have been denied because they have stayed in the United States after the DS end date, which is what would be on the DS 2019 form. So there's a little bit of confusion where that is concerned. I'm wondering if you guys could just clarify that.
Sure. Some of this comes down to case-by-case examples of establishing the credibility of someone as a student. So if someone can explain to us, returning a week or two late, but whatever accommodations may have been made for their late start to classes, we're reasonable humans, and we can hear that explanation, and we can judge whether someone is qualified for a visa later on. They wouldn't be immediately disqualified by a 1 week overstay or a 2 week overstay beyond the end of their work if it's well explained. If they're coming back and they're late to their classes, and we see that those classes were then, they ended up failing, then it calls into question their credibility as a student, and so their next J1 may get a little more scrutiny, or a future visa application for any visa class may get more scrutiny because of how they used that previous visa. Legally, as Nikisha said, they're entitled to that period of time at the end of their program to travel and to enjoy themselves and prepare themselves for their return to school. But the return to school is essential. An essential part of this program is that you're a credible, bona fide student. You're coming back to continue your studies. You're welcome.
Everybody can hear me? Great. Here you go. Let me use the mic. All right, use this one. Thank you. All right, so my question was to get students to get a bit more clarity on the full-time status. I know there's a lot of hardworking students who grind first year, second year, and then by the time they're in their third year, second semester or first semester, they only have 3 courses, or less than 12 credits, but they still have full-time status. I know it's case by case, but if a student is able to explain that, yeah, this is all I have left, I'm not gonna pick up some extra courses just to pretend, but I'm still full-time.
Yeah, that's a great question, and we find that a lot of fourth-year students are in that predicament. And so yes, we look at the entire academic career. So if you were doing well and you were taking a full course load throughout the entirety of your time at school, and then that one semester you didn't have to take as many classes, or I know for some nursing students, their program may require them to take 2 courses and then do some practical or work-related training. That's allowable. But again, it's all about how the student presents this information. If I see 2 courses and that's it, and I ask you, why did you take 2 courses, and you just say, I don't know, then that doesn't give me much to work with. So students need to come and prepare to explain why they don't meet all the requirements. And then the officer will assess whether they're eligible or not.
You have to come to a mic for YouTube. You have to come to the mic so they can hear it on the recording, though. Oh my goodness. Should I come to you? The question is whether if something unlawful happens while you're there on a J1, if that affects your future eligibility for a J1 or for any other visa class, right? There are certain crimes, the general category that we call is crimes involving moral turpitude, where that can be a permanent inadmissibility. There are exceptions to those depending on what the maximum sentencing would be for that crime, but there's a wide range of crimes, mostly related to theft, fraud, larceny, things like that, anything involving violence. There's a wide range of crimes for which a conviction for a crime like that may well render you inadmissible for any visa class for the future. It's case by case depending on the crime and depending on the disposition of the charge too. In most cases, a conviction is required, and so we'll require court documents to show us how that was resolved. If you're arrested and fingerprinted in the U.S., we're going to see that. So if you know that you've had that experience and can speak to it and believe that you are still qualified for a visa, come to your interview ready with those court documents, because we do see this and we're able to work through it frequently. There are some cases where we can't work through it, but either way, you want to know the final disposition and whether it's worth applying for a visa again. So come prepared, come with those court documents if you've had an experience with the law in the past, just so we can speak openly about it. And please do speak openly about it, because any concealment of that crime, even if we could have worked through it, concealing that crime that may have led to an inadmissibility is going to make sure you don't ever get a visa again. Okay? So any encounter you have with the law, it's best to just speak plainly about it, because we're going to see that. Bring your court documents, and then let's try to find a way to work through it. Yes, sir.
Good day, Paul Thomas, IRSS. Just a quick question. The sponsors seem to have a different guideline from what the U.S. Embassy is saying. One sponsor is saying to us as agents that we cannot accept students who have to travel 3 times on the J1 program. So that law was introduced by 2 years now. So once a student go the year 1, year 2, even if they have 1 more year in college, our sponsors are saying they won't issue a DS 2019 DS 2019 for that student. Secondly, I noticed, and you said there's no age limit. Initially, when I was doing the program many years ago, that was okay, but the sponsors now saying to my sponsor is saying, and CIE, which is one of the largest sponsors in the world for this type of program, they are saying 28. So the sponsors are putting us on some bind, they're putting us on some restriction. One of them is that authorized from the embassy, the State Department side, or is just the sponsor, and they're doing it as a group. So they have combined, so if you shift to another sponsor, we are getting these same restriction. And someone was saying that they even want to reduce it to 2 years now, that they won't issue. So if I know a student, 3 years, but I'm hearing that they're talking about even further restricting it. So, if a student is 4th year in the U.S., still qualified doing the 12 credit, we have been after telling our students that they are not qualified for the J1 program, because at the end of the day, what matters is the DS 2019, and we are not able to get it from a sponsor. So I'm curious if there's a guideline from the embassy on that, or is something new?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I think you're getting a lot of quizzical looks up here. We're not sure what this is, and so we want to look into that further. There's nothing that in our regulations that I'm aware of, or that my colleagues are aware of, from what I can tell, that places those limits. And so this is a limit that seems to be coming from the sponsors. And so as you come across that, on a case by case, I hope that you'll share that with us so that we can square this, so we're all have the same understanding. Yeah. Okay, yeah, again, this is a level of complexity that we don't know what's going on right now, so we'll figure this out and follow up.
Well, I also have a question. Are the sponsors meeting with employers? Because I'm wondering if employers also have specific requirements regarding the types of students they will hire. So for example, for the H-2A, for the farm work program, employers will say, this is the kind of applicant that I would like. Again, we'll need to review our regulations. I don't recall seeing these stipulations, but that is something to investigate further.
All right, good afternoon. So there's a World Youth Conference that's held every year. I just came in from Spain at the last one. The U.S. Department of State, they have stipulations, but I don't think it includes age limits and times on a program. But independently, sponsors can come together and implement whatever they need outside of the standard regulation from the Department of State. I personally have 3 sponsors. One of them allows over 30. So when a student comes to me and they are 33, I say to them, when you're registering, make sure you register for this sponsor, because they allow it. The sponsors are separated apart from the embassy. The embassy is allowing persons to come over 30. So we don't even have to bring up that here, because we're grateful that you're doing that. So that's my take on that. And when it comes to how many times you've been on the program, again, it's a sponsor-specific implementation. It's not across the board with all sponsors, because 2 of my sponsors allow you to go unlimited times, and the good thing is that the embassy is also allowing it.
Thank you for that.
I'm grateful we have all the experts in the room then. Thank you.
So every day, a number of students trail through my office, and they have a number of questions. One of the questions that they ask is, so I don't have 12 credits because of the number of courses I'm taking this semester. I only have 10 or 11. Can I still apply?
Yeah, so we did address that a bit earlier. So I will encourage those students to apply and to explain their situation to us, because we are understanding, and we understand that, you may have had 16 credits one semester. I've seen that, students with 18 credits, so that they didn't have to take as many credits the following year, and they're maintaining straight A's, So I think as long as the student can credibly explain why they didn't take or why they don't have a full course load, we can work with them. But it's on a case-by-case basis, so we don't always issue, because our guidelines or our regulation requires that students are full-time students. So if they are a credible full-time student and the adjudicating officer is able to come to that conclusion, then it's fine. But yeah, encourage them to apply.
In general, for all non-immigrant, or for most non-immigrant visa classes, one standard criterion is just to establish to the consular officer's satisfaction that you're qualified for the visa class that you're applying to. So that gives us a little bit of latitude between 10 credits and 12 credits to assess that someone is established they're qualified for a visa class.
So you may have noticed that we have jumped right into Q&A. Are there any more questions for the U.S. Embassy at this point? How soon can students apply? Do you want to ask? Yes. How soon can they apply?
So like I said, I'm making in most cases, our earliest student work travel appointment slots are going to be in the 1st of February. I believe that's a Sunday, though, so the 2nd of February. If someone is ready and able to apply before that, we don't have anything on the calendar right now because we have to make room for the general B1, B2 applicants and the people who work on cruise ships, things like that. And so we have our season set aside. February is where we're looking to start, but we'll make accommodations as needed.
Great, thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. David Johnson and team, for coming today and for presenting. There might be more questions after this, so I'm going to ask you just to hang around a little bit while I invite our work and travel companies who have less than 2 minutes to come. You can stay. Just to come in and say something about your company. So I mentioned earlier that we have 10 registered companies, and you're looking on screen at some of the questions that I went ahead and I asked them for you. Now, how many persons would like to have these answers? All right, so let me ask you, did you register Did you sign up the forum form? So if you did, I'm going to email this to you. Isn't that great? If you haven't, there's still time. Just scan the QR code outside and register so I can have your email and I can send these questions to you. So the questions are some of the, and you have them all together. You can look to see what are the fees and what's additional service they offer. And so I'm sure this will be helpful to you. Frequently asked questions. All right, so now we will invite Mayfus to come. Is Mayfus here? All right, moving on quickly to McLean's. Mr. McLean? Is Mr. McLean from McLean's here? All right, jump into International Recruiting Staffing Solutions. Okay. You have a few fans, sir.
Thank you. All right, just a little thing about my company. I've been in the business. So my name is Paul Thomas. I'm the owner of International Recruiting Staffing. It used to be IHS. Yes. And so we have been in the business for the J1 from 2005. So I've been really pushing it, We are primarily an H2B company in the initial stage, and we have migrated to the J1, and we have developed it. We have actually done well. This year, in 2023, we did over 700 college students. And UTech has been a big portion. One of our largest student bases is UTech over the last 3 years. So why my company is reliable of process. So we are at the same location. I was hearing about the fraud and physical space. We have been at the same location in Crossroad from 2005. So we are physical at the same location. We have an office in Runner Bay, and we have also been there from 2010. So what we have done is ensure that you are able to find us. If there's an issue, you don't have to go on the WhatsApp, you don't have to search. We are physical at that location. We have 2 generations of students. So we have a parents, who was UTech, and they now have a child who's 18. And they have come to the same location. So we have consistency in our delivery. Another advantage, our sponsors. We have also built a relationship with our sponsors. So we have worked with CIE from 2005, and we have worked with United Work and Travel from 2005. I want you to understand the time, because what we do believe in consistency and maintain a relationship. So when there's a problem with my student from one of these sponsors, I don't need to reach to a program coordinator at CIE. I can call the president, because they have been building relationship over a number of years. Another thing that is very important, you should be realized, that my staff, my manager is with me I seem to have a long history. My manager is with me for 17 years. My staff and my next senior staff is with me for over 12 years. So I build a relationship, not just with you, the student, not with just my sponsor. I try to take care of my staff. So they also have happy staff, happy service to you. So my staff is also very reliable. They have many years of experience, and we have been growing together. Finally, one advantage we have over my competitors and colleagues here, one advantage I'll push forward is in terms of our reliability, in terms of financial responsibility. We have never had an issue with students. Typically, by end of June, any person who have got denied in 2023, for any reason, they've all fully refunded. They would have been refunded already. And, and just to tell you, to share the interesting thing, we have not got our money back from our sponsors yet. So our sponsors still owe our money, but in the interest of my student, you can imagine you got a visa denied. You need that money to register for this school term. And I'm saying to you, unfortunately, you have to wait until September. No, we manage our resource and we ensure students in a timely manner get back the refund. Final point, as I realize timing, we also have the lowest funds that we deduct from your money. So when you give us your money and students have cancer for different reasons, we try our best not to take as much money as we see some of our competitors, unfortunately. I'm being honest. So we actually take the lowest, so if you look at our terms and conditions. So we are also very reliable in terms of refunding, and thank you for the time.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Thomas from International IRSS. Work abroad. And I'm going to stand beside you to ensure you only take.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Colin Coley. I am the Managing Director of Work Abroad Jamaica. We've been around since 2006, started working with the J1 since 2015. Work Abroad, we deliver good customer service. You can always get to us for all your questions. Not going to take up much time. Again, Work Abroad Jamaica.
Thank you. Short and spicy. Summer choice. And all these agencies sat through our appraisal system with the Ministry of Labor. And so we have vetted them. And so we always tell our students, only go with one of the 10 registered agencies that you see listed on our website.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Janisha, representing Summer Choice Work and Travel. We have been doing J1 since 2018. We are a very reputable organization. Customer service is there. We have multiple means where you can always get in touch with us. That's it.
Thank you, Summer Choice. SWAT. Mr. Foster.
Actually, I had a slide, so I'm going to pull it up real quick. No, this was supposed to queue, so I never knew I had to queue it. But in the meantime, I know from memory what's on the slide. Basically, can somebody help me that's part of the coordinators and just pull it up? Because I never knew how to do this. So what I'm saying is SWAT, we have 950 students in the summer program this summer past, and we've been around from 2006. One thing that we pride is the online portal, because as a student in 2006, I actually started the company while I was a student. So I capitalized on the advantage of being young, and I pushed towards technology. So the online portal allows you to not really visit the office. Even when you make a payment, you don't have to come in. Everything is uploaded, you select jobs, everything is online, right? Apart from that, my staff, they have to, majority, be past participants of the program, because they're better able to understand your plight and sell the program to you. So I have about 15 full-time staff, 5 part-time. So we're a very big company located on the University of the West Indies campus at the Students' Union. But UTech students are definitely welcome. Is it up? All right. All right, so what I wanted to launch with you guys, I'm going to see if I can do it after, because it's very important. The problem with work and travel is that we're focusing too much on work and travel alone. There are so many other obstacles that you guys go through. So what I did, I launched askiafs.com, which is the first Jamaican work and travel community, which encapsulates so many different segments that you guys are affected. So the slide was supposed to show you the website, the first page. What you guys encounter now is to know which program to go to, which agency. So that page actually lists all the agencies with their Google reviews on one page, address, phone number, the prices. So I'm actually doing it for everyone, not just focusing on SWAT. And then from that page now, you will decide if you want to select which agency and visit or call that agency, right? So it saves you the time. The next slide from that would be the employer's review. All these students go to employers every year. You don't want to go to a McDonald's job in New York that there was a bad review and select it with another agency because SWAT stopped using that employer. So we have an archive where you can, if you're selecting a job, you type in McDonald's New York, the address, it pulls it up, you see the stars as to what the grading is, and you know whether you want to go to that location. If it's a good place, good reviews from participants. Same thing for housing, same thing for, I need the slide up, so I can't present without the slide, because I need to show you the images for you to fully understand. So I could email it, and she'll probably send it out to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. SWAT, sharing their innovation with the website. So once I receive it, I'll shoot it out also to everyone. So remember, if you haven't completed the form, please complete the form. First class. Is first class here?
So it's been a race so far. Everybody came up and they were trying to talk so fast to get down quickly because of the time. But I'm only at 10 seconds, and I want to say thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you, UTech, for having us this afternoon. We love talking to students. We know what it is like. Well, I personally do. When I was a university student, I was nervous. Never been to the US before, and now you're telling me that I'm going to go overseas for 3 to 4 months, and I'm going to give this company 1,000 US that I don't know anything about. So First Class understands what you guys are going through. All our staff were once participants. Some of them recently left university. So we know what it is like when you have those questions. Sometimes you get the answer before, but you want to ask it again, and we have no problem with that. We want to communicate with you as often as possible. Our office is located on Trafalgar Road, right at Paul's, near Devon House, right down there, sir. So it's very easy to access us. We do have an awesome portal as well. You can contact us on Instagram, give us a call. You can visit our website, which I hope every single one of you will do right now to see what we offer, which is in firstclasstravelexp.com. So everybody going to do that really quick. I'm only at a minute. Go on firstclasstravelexp.com to check out our services. Right? We really want you to be a part of our organization so we can guide you step by step. Embassy won't start until January, February, thereabout, but the process actually starts now. And the earlier you begin with us is the more we're able to walk you through everything step by step. First-year students, you're wondering, how am I going to have a transcript? I just started school. We'll explain why is it that you don't have to worry about that, primarily because now we're only asking you for your status letter. By the end of this year, you'll do your exams, and we'll be able to see all the lovely A's and B's that you get this semester. So we'll take you through every single thing you need to know. Just remember, sign up with firstclasstravelexp.com.
First class. I love it. See, they're all competing for you. So make sure you're informed. We want to ensure that you're well informed before you venture into this program. MAFUS.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dwayne Muirhead from MAFUS Work and Travel in Montego Bay. I'm here to promote our J1 Summer Work and Travel program. Basically, why choose MAFUS? Because we are effective and communication is the key. We communicate with you during orientation process, during our placement process, and even when you're overseas, at any time you can contact MAFUS Work and Travel. All our numbers are WhatsApp numbers. You can contact us on Instagram. You can contact us on Facebook. So if you have a problem while you're in the US, even though you have your sponsors to attend to, you can still call us because at the end of the day, MAFUS is there for you. Thank you.
All right. Mr. McLean? From McLean's Travel.
Good day, everyone. How are you guys doing? Students, how are you guys? How's college so far? How's university? Rough? Well, first year, first year, just give yourself some time. By second year, you fully get used to it. Trust me, guys. You'll get used to it. Anyway, guys, I'm here from McLean's Travel Agency. We specialize in lifeguards. So each year we have persons, hey, I don't know how to swim. Why would I choose that? Don't worry about it, guys. We have professional persons who will teach you how to swim, even if the case that you can't swim. That's so important to say, so I got it out the way. Also, guys, we have very competitive rates. You can come when you're finished, have a talk with me, and I'll give you more information about our rates, our offers, how we assist students. We are a third time going program. We are pretty new, but we offer quality service, and for a worthwhile experience, you guys can come out and sign up with us, or we can have a talk, all right? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And finally, Global Insight.
Thank you. Who can tell me how many countries are in the world? Come on, take out your phone and look it up quick because we have a prize. Who can tell me how many? No. Come on, time is going. Correct. There are 195 countries in the world. And it's quite possible that you may never get to go to all these countries. But one of the most beautiful things about the Work and Travel program is that you get to participate on a program where you meet people from all over the world. And you get to share your culture with these people, and you get to swipe their culture from them as well. It's an exchange. And I want you, when you think about the program, because guess what? All these agencies are offering the same thing. We're all compliant. We're all giving you great customer service. That's why we are approved by the University of Technology. But I want you to focus on why you want to go on this program, not for work, but for the experience that you are going to gain, something so priceless. And we at Global Insight, we focus on that. You guys might be too young to know this thing, this movie, this series called Cheers. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Any of you guys know that? You're too young, man. So there's a series called Cheers. And these group of people, they go to a bar every night, and everybody knows each other. That's one of the bases of us at Global Insight. We pride ourselves on knowing our students. We believe in you guys as much as we want you guys to believe in us and what we have to offer for you. So I am Mrs. Sinclair Kitson. I am the Director of Operations at Global Insight. And I would like to not only encourage you to come and visit us outside and to consider our agency, but I also want to encourage you to think about the program in a different way. The doors that can be open for you and the opportunities that await. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There you have it, folks. There's one company that was unable to be here this afternoon, and that's Explore Your World. So bear that in mind. So there's an organization that tries to bring all these companies together. It's called the Jamaica Association of Employment and Cultural Exchange. And Mr. Sanjay Anderson, who also represents First Class, will come and tell you about it.
All right, thank you so much. I'm here again, this time in the capacity of Assistant PRO for JACE. Ms. Charmaine explained, JACE stands for Jamaica Association of Employment and Cultural Exchange. JACE is dedicated in promoting opportunities for students, for youths, adults in the educational and work and travel industry. Our members offer a range of cultural exchange programs such as au pair, internships, J1 summer work and travel, Teach USA, Camp America, and much more. In essence, it's pretty much a lot of the agencies which are in Jamaica under one umbrella promoting all of these programs and standing for the same thing. JACE and its members seek to preserve and strengthen the industry. As Mr. Thomas said, he knows persons who went with his agency, and then their children went with his agency. And that's what JACE is all about, pushing for the longevity of all of these programs that we love so much. So we want to ensure that they go on for years to come. JACE and its members, we promote best practices, which are transparency, fairness, proper communication. Most agencies which are in Jamaica have at some point in time been a part of JACE or currently is. As we gather today, everybody's talking about the main one, summer work and travel, which is big in Jamaica. And currently one of JC's biggest push is emphasizing what the program really stands for. And we've heard it quite a number of times, but it is very critical. The program is now even more being advertised as the Bridge USA program. We all know what bridges do, correct? They connect. So we always hear about work and travel, but it's the connecting Jamaicans to Turkish students, to Bulgarian students, to Dominican students. That is really, really, really what the program is about. So Jace is here, and we have your best interests at heart. We want this program to continue for many, many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. So, by a show of hands, I know we had more persons come in. How many persons have been on the program before? Okay, so we still have 2. Oh, wow. Who did you travel with? Okay, who did you travel with? Okay, all right. All right. First class, okay. Thanks for sharing that. I was going to do something, but I changed my mind. I'm not going to ask you which company is the best. Is the best. I changed my mind. All right, so on behalf of our president, Dr. Kevin Brown, and our deputy registrar, Mr. Barry Thomas, I'd like to thank our visitors from the U.S. Embassy for coming today. I'd like to thank our 10 agencies for partnering with us to ensure that our students have a safe experience. And I'd like to thank all of you for showing up this afternoon to ensure we can have a forum. Please note that this is not the end of it. We know a number of students were not able to attend, but if you have questions, you can still come and visit me. I'm happy to see you. And if I can't answer, I'll try and find the answer for you. Okay? So, thank you very much. Please give our guests a round of applause. And we will sign off now. Have a good afternoon, everyone.